Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me, Alyssa Arundell, for your month of February card reading. For the month of February, we are going to be using both my intuition and yours in picking the cards for this month. You'll have 4 different decks to choose from, and so this way that we can both use our intuition in seeing what the month holds for us on an individual basis. If you would like to reach out to me for a one-to-one reading, I will leave that information in the description box beneath this video. If for some reason I'm not available and you really need to talk to somebody, then you can speak to one of my live psychics 24/7, and I'll leave that information down below as well. But if you're more new to tarot and how the cards work and you just want to dip your toe in a little bit, then I will leave the free 3-card tarot reading link beneath this video so that you can just try it out and see how it works for you, and just use this on a daily basis if you want to, just to get some quick, sharp answers. So let's get into our pick a card reading. So welcome to your month of February card reading. I have used my intuition to pick these cards, but now it's over to you to use your intuition to pick a deck that you would like to work with. If you opt for pile 1, this is represented by this rose quartz crystal. Pile 2 is represented by the amethyst. Pile 3 is represented by the clear quartz crystal. And pile 4 is represented by the turquoise. If you feel drawn to more than one deck, please do feel free to pick more than one deck, and I'll leave the timestamps in the description box beneath this video for you to see what you have chosen. But let's get into our reading. So if you chose pile 1 for your reading, you chose the rose quartz. Rose quartz is really good in helping us to invite new love into our lives, whether this be friendships or romantic relationships. It's said that if we have rose quartz at the door as we move into a new property, that only good can go past that threshold. So this is a really lovely welcoming stone to have, and many people that have this in their home do find that you have a very welcoming place to visit. So it's just really lovely in not only keeping away negativity, but really inviting in a lot of positive and beautiful things into your life. Let's see what the cards for you for the month of February are. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the 8 of Cups from the tarot deck. We have the Oracle card, Debt Paid Off. And we have the Angel card, Jophiel, Liberation. What's coming up for me for the month of February, deck 1, is that there is a sense of leaving something behind. When we look at the 8 of Cups, he's on a path, a new journey. All these cups are left behind him, and it's quite an emotional journey, really. It could be that you've moved home. It could be that you've moved away from a relationship, whether this be romantic or a friendship, that's just no longer serving you. There is a sense of liberation that comes from this feeling, but there's also a sense of sadness that goes with it too. You know, what does life hold for the next chapter? This also could be if you've moved away from a job, like we said, or a location that was no longer fitting you. So there is some fears perhaps around moving on, but Archangel Jophiel is the Archangel of beauty, and so she can really help us to see the beauty in all of these situations. You know, you really are spreading your wings this month. This is a time for you to liberate yourself from those past pains and those past hurts. And this is a really positive thing, because you've got the Wheel of Fortune, which again is a card of endings and new beginnings. This is card 10, and this is saying that this is a culmination of everything that you've learned on your path so far. You're implementing all of those tools, moving forwards in a new direction. Now, I think one of the fears that have come up with this is the fact that there are debts to be paid off. Now, this could be monetary debts. You know, perhaps you've had to refinance things in order to make this fresh start. If you've moved away from a relationship, then perhaps there were some financial benefits to that relationship. Perhaps now you are moving into a place that's smaller if you've moved away from where you were before. But this doesn't just have to do with money. This card says the old weight and habit of debt is lifted from you and your life. This could be to do with karmic debts as well, repaying anything that was owed to you. So in some ways, some of you may expect an unexpected windfall this month, to be honest. Some of you may be getting help from an outside source that you weren't expecting. And some of you are just going to be able to really come up with a clear and sophisticated plan on how to move forwards paying off these debts, whether it's if a friendship group has broken down, perhaps there are other people from that friendship group that you would like to stay in touch with, and it's working out a way to do that. If a relationship has broken down, maybe you had mutual friends involved in that, maybe you were very close to their family members. Just because that particular relationship has ended doesn't mean that all of the things that went with that have to leave your life. Sometimes it is great to just completely cut ties and start all over again. But sometimes, you know, relationships are so important that there are ways to make them work. And so it's not about thinking that you've lost out on everything. This is simply a new chapter, a fresh start, and an opportunity for you to really get straight this year, get your finances in order, get your sleeping habits in order. Anything that has been weighing you down or feeling like a burden, I think, is coming off your shoulders. And just because that pressure is removed doesn't mean that we automatically just heal, right? So this is a start of a chapter. This is the start of a journey, but it's happening at the start of a new year. So really, you have the rest of this year to grow and to flourish, and February next year could be looking completely differently. But the important thing to note is that you've made that initial step, and that is the biggest thing to go through, and you deserve a big congratulations from at least just trying to embark on that new chapter. And it will get easier. It is a little bit rocky now, and it is a little bit unknown now, but that will start to become more clear as the months unfold for you. Hello, deck 2, represented by this beautiful amethyst crystal. Very good crystal that helps us to get rid of negativity or anything that is causing us some distress. So if we're having any nightmares or sleepless nights, it can be quite beneficial to have an amethyst. So let's have a look at what the month of February holds for you, pile 2. Okay. Okay, so first up we have this beautiful card of Temperance. Some people see Temperance in the tarot as a bit of a boring card. Very often we get the word balance come up with Temperance. And whilst it can mean balance, it's much more deep than that. If we look at this card, the lady has one foot in the water and one foot on the earth. And therefore, she is part of the spiritual dimension as well as the earthly plane. So yes, this is about balancing our material and our spiritual world, but it's a lot deeper than just balancing the books. This could be balancing our emotional or mental state. This could be balancing our fitness and our health. And it's interesting that we also have the Strength card come up, along with this Oracle card which says get some exercise. Generally, strength usually is more to do with inner strength, mental strength. But I think for you this month, this is to do with physical strength. You're really working on maybe some lifting, maybe some sort of aerobics. If you're very into fitness, this is reaching a new physical peak of your training. If you're new into wanting to exercise your body, you could find that although it's tough and it's a struggle and it's hard at first and you're sweating and gasping for breath, those endorphins that are shooting all over your body make you want to carry on, make you want to do more. So it's just making that first step. Everybody has a different physical capability. But usually there are some very small things that we can do in terms of exercising. But I don't just see this as a physical thing. This is exercising your spiritual senses, right? You could be doing some very deep meditations this month. I see you working with some sort of binaural beats or theta waves or something that's really going to allow you to explore your psychic abilities, to be honest. Now, the archangel that is representing you is Archangel Shamiel, and the word on this card is beginnings. Shamiel is usually the archangel that can help us find things. So if we've lost anything that we want to bring back into our world, we can call upon Archangel Shamiel for some help. This could be a physical item that we've lost, our keys, our phone, our glasses, usually down the side of the sofa. But this is also things that we've lost in our life. If you've been through a relationship where perhaps you've lost yourself a little bit, and this doesn't mean that it's a toxic relationship. You may still be in this relationship, but whenever we embark into something new, we can hand over a part of ourselves. And this month is really asking you to have the strength to be authentically you. It's okay to want to get on. It's okay to want to keep the peace. But at the same time, you are a unique being with your own gifts and your own voice and your own opinions and points of view. And I really feel that this month is saying to you, you don't have to go in, shouting and trying to get your viewpoint across, but it is about not being too passive, not being too aggressive, focusing on your spiritual health as well as your physical health. And the words on this card says, as your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. This really ties in with the strength card. Some physical power coming through you. This is a very masculine energy month in some ways. I don't say this, it's not based on any gender. This is just the idea of that masculine go-getting active energy. These two cards are really pushing that forwards. Masculine energy can very much get the job done, very much new beginnings and initiative, but you're also working with this feminine energy of this balance, looking for lost things, keeping yourself in check, keeping your mind balanced with your body. And so I feel like in some ways you're really finding a harmonious way to work this month. You're going to find out that there is opportunity for you to play hard, but there is opportunity for you to work hard as well. And so this could be an exhausting month. This could be a very busy month, but I feel that the new beginnings are really on the way, and you're really going to be heading in the direction that you want to go, and ironing out anything that has been holding you back, ironing out any problems. But that does come from you showing that inner mental strength as well as showing that inner physical strength if you have to. Hello, deck 3. If you picked this deck, then you picked the clear quartz crystal, one of my favorite crystals to work with. Some people might think it's a little boring, it's clear, it's this color. I mean, you can have smoky quartz, you can have lots of different quartz, but quartz is an extremely powerful crystal in terms of cleansing. If you need to cleanse any of your other crystals, you could just pop some clear quartz next to it. You can put it outdoors, you can put it near water. It's very hardy, and so it's a brilliant crystal to go to if you're not quite sure what it is that you're looking for. So I wonder if this will have any impact on our deck this month. Okay, so you have the Devil come up. You also have the Nine of Wands, New Career, and Archangel Raziel. Okay, Whenever the Devil card makes an appearance, my first thought is, what is it that we need to release and let go of? This card often comes up if we are taking part in some bad habits. None of us like to see this card because it reminds us of how we can do better, and we don't always want to be told off by the universe. But is there something that we are doing that is not good for our health, be it our physical health, our mental health, or our emotional, spiritual health? This could be going backwards and forwards to a toxic friendship or relationship. Maybe there's a lot of lust involved, but perhaps the trust is not there and we know deep down that it's not good for us. It could be as simple as, are we drinking too much coffee? Are we relying on any substances to get us through our day? Are we not getting enough sleep? Are there any addictions that have crept in? We scrolling too much on TikTok rather than getting that extra hour in bed. So this card is really important to look at what we could be doing better. It's not here to tell us off, but it is here to just point us in a direction that is more healthy for us. You also have the Nine of Wands. This is a very powerful card in terms of the pip cards in tarot. This card is asking you to stand up for what you believe in. What is it that you believe in? In a very practical way, this could be that you set up a new business and you've come up with a product or a slogan and someone's trying to pinch your idea. Make sure you get that thing copyrighted or patented. This could be in work. Someone is taking credit for your hard work. Is there some bullying going on in your situation? Maybe not to do with you, but maybe you're seeing somebody else being treated unfairly. Perhaps you've been privy to some gossip and you're wondering whether to tell the person it is about. This card is not a yes or no, but it is a card that says stand up for what you believe in. So if you believe that this thing is best kept quiet for now until you can gather more information, then that's the route that you should perhaps go down. However, if you feel that this is so important and maybe it's even a safeguarding issue, you have to stand up and say something and be heard. This also goes with the card Raziel. The word on this card is intuition. Archangel Raziel is the archangel of magic, rules the planet of Jupiter. So this is a very expansive energy. And so I feel like this month is things coming to light, things being told. You might find out some truths that are painful. You might be the person to deliver some truths. Right bang in the middle of the week, though, we have this new career. So if you have been having a hard time at work or you're thinking of changing your career path, you may want to take this as a sign. The affirmation on this card is your work focus is shifting into positive, new and successful directions. If you need to just take time, maybe this is a part-time creative project that you do alongside your main role, or perhaps this is a completely new career direction. The devil can sometimes hold us back in terms of that ego, wanting to keep us safe. Our ego is there to keep us safe. To say to us, maybe we shouldn't go for that. Maybe we should just stay in our comfort zone and do what is known. But the rest of your cards are saying, use your intuition, stand up for what you believe in. So this kind of battle going on within your own psyche of whether to stick with what you know or whether to change completely. And really, this is going to vary from person to person based on what it is that your gut is telling you. I feel that maybe this month, getting a notepad and paper, maybe writing down the pros and cons of a situation, but ultimately, you know the right thing to do. And if you are covering for somebody and you don't feel comfortable, or if you are being that person who everyone comes to with the secrets and advice, but actually you've got your own stuff to focus on, mainly your career and how you make a living, and perhaps people are not supporting you in the way that you've supported them, and that can cause quite a lot of frustration, and we don't want that to turn into resentment. We don't want that to turn into a battle. So it's best to get all the proverbial cards out on the table, say how it is you really feel. It may be uncomfortable to have these conversations, but definitely necessary. And there will be people supporting you in your new career move. And anyone who is sort of holding you back or saying, oh, that's not such a good idea, you'll be able to feel whether that is coming from a place of, true concern and love, or whether it's coming from a little bit of a place of jealousy. So you'll be able to use your discernment and your intuition and figuring that out. But perhaps it's time for those friendships or relationships that are actually not healthy for you to make some sort of shift and move into a new direction that's a lot lighter and a lot more gentle for your soul. Pile 4, you have chosen the deck which belongs to the beautiful turquoise, probably my favorite gemstone in the world. To me, this is the ultimate stone of protection. If we are feeling a little nervous, if we're going into a situation that we're have a little bit of fear, have a little bit of trepidation, we can hold this turquoise in our hand, keeps away any evil eye, and lets us know that we are safe and protected. Does this coincide with your reading this month? Let's have a look. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, lucky you. You also have the High Priestess. Wow, a major arcana card. Practice, practice, practice is your oracle card, and the incredible Archangel Michael is working with you all of this month. The Ace of Pentacles is a wonderful card that heralds in new beginnings, particularly anything to do with your material plane. So this could be a form of an abundance coming into your situation, perhaps some financial money that you were owed coming back into your life. It's also a card that relates to anything to do with our physical plane. This could be that this month you really want to try out a new style, perhaps either purchase new clothes or upcycle the clothes you have in some way. This could be cutting things up or dyeing things or just experimenting a little bit. This really is a card that reminds me of, that teenager going through that experimental phase. And we all have that inner child within us that wants to spice things up from time to time. It could be that you really feel like you want to redecorate, maybe even move home completely. So anything that we can physically touch, hear, smell, or taste is going to be very much at the fore of all the things that you're enjoying and wanting to change this month. But then on the other side of this is a bit of a polarity, because you have the High Priestess, who for me is one of the most powerful cards in tarot. If we look at the High Priestess on any deck that we're working with, she is in between two pillars. And these pillars represent the duality of our existence. We do live in a dualistic plane, so we have up, down, on, off, left, right, hot, cold. These things may be seen as opposites, but they're all part of the same pole. So if we think about a pole, we'll use this stone as a example. You might have hot and cold, but actually those things are not opposite. They're part of the same thing, which is temperature. You could be more of a left leaning in your politics, you might be more right leaning in your politics, but it's part of the same pole, which is politics. So everything has a duality in our life, and when we become super polarized in any direction in life, we give our power over. And what the High Priestess likes to do is not commit herself to any extreme. She's not so far one way or so far the other way. She sits slap bang in the middle, very centered, very grounded. She tends not to get involved in gossip or arguments. She sits back and she listens. And she doesn't give her opinion unless she's specifically asked for it. So it could be that parts of this month, drama is trying to invite you in, but it might be best to just witness, to just observe, and not actually get so deep into the emotional dimension of it all this month. This is more about just being a viewer to your own life and seeing it a little bit like a movie in some ways. I think this is really going to help in terms of de-stressing and depolarizing. We also have the card practice, practice, practice. And your affirmation is, with daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. Anything that we do in life, we start off with practicing. Now, there are some of us that are born with a unique set of skills towards something. You know, some of us may have an aptitude for art at a very young age. Some of us may be quite built to be sports people at a young age. But even if we have a great innate gift for something, in order to get better at anything, we just need to practice. And some of those things are going to be easier than others. For me, one thing that doesn't come so naturally to me is languages, but it's something I would love to speak. So many languages, but I find it very, very difficult to learn languages. And so practicing is helpful, but there are other things that I'm innately better at. I think I'm pretty good at cooking, but that doesn't mean that I don't need to practice and improve. So it sounds like a bit of a boring card, but if you want to see any progression in your life this month, whether this is career progression or something that you do in terms of a hobby, just keep at it, keep going, knowing that you will get it one day. And the archangel that is working with you this month is the Archangel Michael. He is the archangel of protection, and this is interesting because you also pulled the turquoise, which is very much about protection. But the word on this card is transmutation. What is transmutation? It's taking something and turning it into something else, taking a base metal, turning it into gold. But I like to work with transmutation in terms of energy. It's funny, you see people who are very public figures, and some of them can get a lot of hate thrown at them. And it seems the more hate they get, the more popular they get. This is probably because they are natural transmutators, where it doesn't matter what the energy is that comes in. Energy is energy, right? So negative energy might come in, but we can transmutate that and turn it into something more positive. So if people are telling us that we're not good enough or that we can't, we can show them this month. We can take that criticism and use it to fuel us to do better. Instead of letting that criticism break us and upset us, we just use it as a stepping stone to practice, get better and better. And we're not going to backbite. We're not going to get involved in that pettiness. We're just going to listen with an open heart and take that stuff on board. Take the good that we can from it and discard what we don't need from that situation. And I feel that this is a month of rapid spiritual growth because of that reason. So there you have your month of February forecast. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this reading has been of service to you. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you would like to reach out for me, I will leave that information in the description box beneath this video, along with the free 3-card tarot reading, if you do want to try that out. So until we speak again next month, have a great month and take care.